Ready, set, adventure! Welcome to Hikanuki World Tour and our 24 hours in Taipei. We'll spend the night at the Grand Hyatt and get a bird's eye view at Taipei 101. We'll visit some colorful neighborhoods and walk around some interesting local markets. We'll check out some of the street food and eat at the world-famous Din Tai Fung. And we just had to try some bubble tea. So come along with us and let's get this party started.
Next stop, Terminal 5.
Tonight, our adventure to Asia begins. We're taking the 11:30 p.m. flight on EVA Air to Taipei, Taiwan. It's our first time flying EVA and we weren't sure what to expect, but we were pleasantly surprised. We were on the Hello Kitty themed flight, and everything from the plane to the silverware was themed for Sanrio's Hello Kitty. Dinner was served and it was surprisingly tasty. The best airplane food we've had in ages. We settled in to the fairly comfortable airline seats to get some sleep. When morning came, we were served breakfast. We chose the Western-style frittata and were surprised at how good it was. The plane arrived on Sunday, February 9th at 5:25 in the morning. Having been able to get some sleep, we were fresh and ready for the day. We arrived at the main international airport, Taiwan, and collected our bags. The airport was clean and modern, and baggage pickup was fast and efficient. Signs were in English, so it was easy to find our way. We were heading to Taipei, and the easiest ways to get there are through their rapid transit system or by taxi. Because we had a bit of luggage, we decided to take a taxi. Public transportation from the airport to Taipei is about $5 per person, while a taxi is about $30 for two people. Not all taxi drivers speak English, so it's a good idea to have Google Translate. We were staying at the Grand Hyatt in the XinYi area near Taipei 101. Since we were only staying one night, we thought this was the best location. Tourist areas are spread out throughout Taipei, but we found their mass transit system very easy to navigate. Lanterns celebrated the Lunar New Year. This year is the Year of the Snake. The check-in process was quick and easy, and we were pleasantly surprised that our room was ready. The Grand Hyatt was clean and modern with a distinctively Asian feel. It's a Hyatt Category 3 hotel, so you might have a reward that you can use. And it's also an American Express fine hotel and resort. We were on the 20th floor in room 2042. We had a one-king bed room with view of Taipei 101, one of the world's tallest skyscrapers. The room was large and very well laid out with plenty of seating areas. The hotel has 853 rooms and suites, and it felt like it had been recently refurbished. We found it to be clean and modern and more than adequate for an overnight stay. There were Asian touches throughout, which made it feel special. Overall, we were impressed with the size of the room, the cleanliness of the room, and the location of the hotel. We're only here for one night, as tomorrow we're going to be boarding a cruise ship, the NCL Spirit. The hotel is about a 20-minute drive from the port. Beds were comfortable and with crisp, clean linens. This was a great place to recover from our minor jet lag. Red is considered a lucky color in Taiwanese culture, symbolizing good fortune, luck, and prosperity. And the color was used as an accent in various places throughout the room. The room was well appointed with pretty much everything that you could need. While we wouldn't be staying long enough to unpack, there was a nice closet with hangers. Comfortable robes and slippers were also provided. We paid less than $300 for this room and felt like it was a taste of luxury at a bargain price. Behind this sliding door was the bathroom. The mostly marble bathroom was clean, large, and also felt luxurious. While tap water is generally considered safe to use, bottled water was preferred for teeth brushing. The bathroom was equipped with a Japanese-style toilet. Bathroom was bright with plenty of mirrors. Bottled water was provided free of charge. Shampoo, conditioner, and body wash were provided in the shower. Shower had both a handheld fixture and an overhead rain shower function. The bathroom was spacious, well appointed, and felt much more luxurious than what the price would have suggested. Provided water was appreciated. And as for the view, we directly faced the Taipei 101 skyscraper, probably the most recognizable building in modern-day Taipei. We also had a nice view of the mountains. Taiwan is considered to be one of the most mountainous islands in the world. Our room at the Grand Hyatt proved to be a nice respite from the busy city below. After freshening up, we decided to explore the hotel a little more. We stopped at the second floor for a view of the lobby, where red lanterns celebrated the Lunar New Year. The Chow Lounge is located on the second floor, overlooking the lobby, and serves mostly vegetarian items. It's open for lunch and then again for dinner. We took the escalators down from the second floor to the lobby. The lobby was characterized by wide open spaces and beautiful plantings and flowers. Here's another decoration celebrating the Lunar New Year. Also on the lobby floor, you'll find the cafe serving a buffet breakfast as well as lunch and dinner. You'll find shopping on the first floor in the boutiques. There are also artwork and sculptures, including this lifelike statue. And outside, you're conveniently located across from Taipei 101. Just a reminder to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to Hikanuki World Tour. It really helps our channel grow. Thanks, we really do appreciate you. Taipei has an easy-to-use, efficient subway system called the MRT. We purchased a one-day pass at the station. You can also pay by the trip. Tap in to access the platform and tap out once your trip is completed. With 5 different lines to choose from and 117 stations, you should be able to access wherever you want to go. The system is efficient with trains arriving every 3 to 5 minutes. Maps are in English and announcements are made in English as well as 3 other languages. Trains are bright, clean, fast, and safe. But just remember, no eating or drinking. They transport more than 2 million passengers per day and are a great way to get around the city. From our hotel, we took the Red Line to see our first point of interest, the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. Stations and platforms are well marked so it's easy to find your way. Stand to the right of the escalator to let others pass on the left. As you can see, the platforms are also clean and bright and easy to navigate. They even have umbrellas to borrow in case you forgot yours. On our visit, it was slightly rainy, but quite chilly, about 45 degrees. The Memorial Hall is a popular place for locals and tourists, and a must-see for any first-time visitors to Taipei. Located in the Zhongzheng district, this area includes 62 landscaped acres and is reminiscent of Central Park in New York City. Within the urban area, you'll find beautiful gardens, ponds, and bridges. We were even lucky enough to catch a glimpse of some of the cherry blossoms in bloom. And we weren't alone in our admiration. The blossoms were delicate and beautiful. We enjoyed walking along the paths and seeing the different wildlife and gardens, even though it wasn't the most beautiful day. There were plenty of benches under trees, which would be much appreciated during the summer months. This was truly a peaceful and serene area, but surrounded by skyscrapers and a busy city. You'll find some interesting offerings in their vending machines. And this was our first look at the awe-inspiring, massive Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Park. You'll find the National Concert Hall and National Theater here, as well as the gate coming in from the city streets. The large walkway is referred to as Liberty Square. This is often the site of mass gatherings in Taiwan. Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek was the leader of the Chinese Nationalist Party. When the KMT lost to the Communist Party in mainland China, Chiang and his army fled to Taiwan. He ruled from 1950 to 1975, and this area was built in honor of him. It's a popular gathering place, and when we were there, we saw this group exercising or getting ready for a performance. Architect Yang Cho-cheng, who is known for creating monumental structures with Chinese characteristics, designed the Memorial Hall. This main archway is known as Liberty Square Arch. It consists of 5 entryways, 6 pillars, and 11 roofs. The 5-6-11 configuration means the archway is of the highest rank according to traditional Chinese architectural classification system. Colorful begonias and snapdragons were in bloom on our visit. The National Concert Hall seats 2,064 people. It's known for its commitment to preserving Chinese cultural theatrical arts. And this is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. Opened in 1980, 5 years after Chiang's death, it's the most prominent historical landmark in Taipei. The 2 sets of 89 steps represent Chiang's age at death. White and blue represent the colors of the Republic of China flag. The white building has 8 sides. The number 8 symbolizes fortune and wealth in Chinese culture. The multi-tiered roof structure is modeled after Beijing's Temple of Heaven, where emperors prayed for divine protection. Looking down from the top of the steps, you can see the true beauty of this complex. Like many leaders, Chiang's rule is not without controversy. Some considered him to have been an iron-fisted dictator and responsible for the brutal suppression of ethnic Taiwanese. So while this site may be controversial to many, it's still a sight to behold. Within the Great Hall, you'll see the bronze statue of Chiang Kai-shek. It will surely evoke the image of the Lincoln Memorial. I'm not sure if this was coincidental or intentional, but it certainly reminded me of Abraham Lincoln. Aside from the controversy of viewing Chiang Kai-shek as an authoritarian, many still regard him as an anti-communist hero. The vaulted ceiling is adorned with the emblem of the Chinese Nationalist Party. The inscriptions represent ethics, democracy, and science, the essence of the 3 principles of the people. On the ground floor of the memorial, you'll find a library, museum, and even a model of Chiang's office. There are several exhibits, including those that address authoritarianism and Taiwan's transition to democracy. Outside, people were starting to gather to watch the ceremonial changing of the guard. This can be witnessed every hour on the hour, depending on weather. Politics aside, as a visitor to this site, I found it to be very memorable and definitely recommend stopping by. And now it's time to get a bite to eat. We headed to the famous breakfast spot, Fu Hang Soy Milk. This is one of the oldest traditional Taiwanese breakfast shops in Taipei, known not only for its food but also for the long lines that form outside. It was established in 1958 and is open from 5:30 in the morning until 2 p.m. It's located on the second floor, and on our visit, the line wrapped around outside of the building around the corner. But the line moved quickly and we were inside in about 30 minutes. As expected, it was quite crowded inside. There's a constant flow of people coming and going, so we didn't have a problem finding a seat. Before reaching the counter, make sure you know your order. Much like sourdough, their bread is made from old dough. It rises for at least 15 hours and then is baked in the traditional round ovens. Fu Hang is known for its consistent quality and efficiency in serving so many people, and is considered one of the best in Taipei. This was within walking distance of the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial, and we definitely recommend stopping here. Expect a line, but it did move quickly. We didn't know exactly what to order, so we asked the locals in front of us. They recommended the thick bread with egg and donut stick, and of course, the soy milk. And this is the soy milk, which was savory and hot, which was nice because it was a chilly day. The efficient assembly line process helps make the crowds move through the line quickly. Here she's assembling the thick bread with egg and donut stick. I will admit it was a little stressful for a first-timer, so take a look at their menu in advance. We started with the savory soy milk and weren't sure what to expect. We found the flavor mild and creamy and appreciated that it was hot on a chilly morning. It felt like a true breakfast comfort meal. Next we had the thick bread with egg and donut stick. The bread was definitely the star of the show. The egg was good and the donut was more like fried dough than a sweet donut. Overall, we were glad we stopped here to get a taste of a traditional Taiwanese breakfast. Then we hopped on the MRT and headed for Ximending. Here we saw the famous Rainbow Six crossing. Ximending is where trendy meets traditional. You'll find this area vibrant and lively and bustling with youth culture. Diverse styles mingle here. Current fashion, athletic wear, Japanese and Korean pop culture, tattoo parlors, a night market, tea shops, and even street performers. It reminded me of Shibuya in Tokyo or Times Square in New York. Even though it was crowded, there was still plenty of space to walk, and it never felt cramped. This is Taipei's largest pedestrian zone. The area felt safe, but you should use common sense precautions. You'll find that many people in Taipei speak English, especially in the tourist areas and especially among the younger people. English is now taught in schools and universities and is widely spoken as a second language. In addition to the bigger, well-known stores, you'll also find smaller alleys with smaller shops and food stalls. You might even find a place to leave your mark. It was getting a little warmer as the day wore on, and today it was about 50 degrees at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. One of the more recognizable buildings in Ximending is the Red House, built in 1908. It was the first government-built public market in Taiwan. It's now used as a platform to promote cultural and creative industry and houses many shops with handcrafted items. Now we're heading to Tang for some of its handcrafted brown sugar boba. It's another popular place, so expect to stand in line. It's an efficient operation, so the line does move quickly. Their claim to fame are their fresh-made tapioca balls. At this location, they serve only brown sugar boba milk and Xiao Long Bao. The limited selection keeps the line moving. After placing our order, we received a stick with a number on it, and the number corresponded to the board where we found our fortune. Brown sugar boba milk is their signature drink, combining brown sugar boba with organic whole milk and torched with brown sugar. Here you can see them making and scooping out the freshly made tapioca balls called boba. Each cup gets one big scoop. Once your order is placed, your drink is basically ready. And here we are in Ximending, Taipei, Taiwan. with a brown sugar boba milk. And it was delicious, definitely a step above the rest. The boba was the perfect texture, and I loved the brown sugar on top. They always say at the markets, including the night markets, to look for the longest line because that's where the best food is. We weren't hungry yet, so we kept walking around. There were plenty of great souvenir shops along here. And here's another long line for food. Most food stalls sell only one or two things, so lines move pretty fast. Scattered throughout, you'll also find street performers. They can really gather a crowd. Here's some fried donut balls to try. You'll also find shops that feature the claw machines and the gumball machine type prizes. Here's a long line for the famous oyster omelets. Long lines plus plenty of locals equals a tasty treat. We were playing it a little safe as we were about to embark on a cruise. This was a Sunday night, and the later it got, the more crowded it got. If you're in Taipei, you should definitely come check out this area. We hope to come back sometime in the future when we can spend more time and try more of the street food. We headed back to the hotel to freshen up before going to the Shilin Night Market. We stopped by the 5th floor to check out the swimming pool. At 50 degrees and cloudy, it was too chilly for us to want to swim, but there were a couple people swimming laps and enjoying having the pool almost all to themselves. The water is temperature controlled, so it was pretty warm. I'm sure this is the perfect place to be on a hot summer day. Maybe we'll come back this evening for the hot tub. It's also a good perspective of how big the hotel really is. The pool does look inviting, but just not today. Instead of heading to the pool, we headed to the bar for a quick drink. And then we headed over to the MRT to catch the train to the Shilin Market. As usual, we found the train to be convenient and easy to use. We paid about $5 for our all-day pass and certainly got our money's worth. We arrived at the Shilin Night Market, which is the largest market in Taipei with over 500 vendors. A night market is basically a street food festival. Because in the summer months, it's so hot, night markets gain popularity. While some night markets are also open during the day, they are busiest at night. This booth was making delicious-looking fried chicken cutlets and was very popular. And right now we're just on the streets near to the MRT station. We haven't even entered the true Shilin Market yet. A couple things to keep in mind when you visit any of the night markets. You'll rarely find a napkin or paper towel, so make sure to bring your own. Trash cans are also few and far between, so you may want to bring a plastic bag to put your garbage in. Depending which night market you're at, be prepared to stand or walk with your food, as some do not have tables available. But when visiting Taiwan, be sure to check out at least one of the night markets. We chose Shilin because we thought it would be the easiest to access from where our hotel was. Some complain that it's too touristy, overpriced, and overcrowded. But we're going to check it out and see for ourselves. We thought this was a pretty unique way to fry eggs, and it looks very effective. Here the vendor is making candied fruits by dipping them in sugar water. And now we've arrived at the Shilin Market. It dates back to 1909 and the Japanese colonial period. Within the market, you'll find the Sesshin Temple, and tonight they're having a big celebration. The upcoming celebration, which we stumbled upon, includes loud fireworks and flashes. So if you're sensitive to these, you may want to fast forward. But the ceremony was fascinating for us, and we couldn't believe we stumbled upon it. And here it goes. And now back to the food stalls. In addition to having access to Google Translate before your vacation, I also recommend downloading the app that does an immediate conversion from whatever currency you're in to USD. This is a quick and easy way to see exactly how much things cost. The night market also had carnival games to play. And the fireworks celebration continued. The smoke and noise was getting a little overwhelming. Things started to settle down, and we were able to take in the sights and smells of the market itself. For me, not all of the sights and smells were welcome, but it was fascinating to see the variety of items. In addition to food stalls, there were also stalls selling clothing, including one stall for dog clothes. There was a performance taking place on one of the stages. It was very colorful, and we caught the tail end of it. You never know what merchandise you might come across. Looks like the English proofreader didn't do a very good job on this sweatshirt. With that, we headed back to the MRT station to get back to the hotel. Before coming to the night market, we had stopped in at Taipei 101 for dinner at Din Tai Fung. The wait was about 3 hours, so we headed to the night market instead. But since we didn't eat much at the night market, and we had been gone about 3 hours, we headed back to Din Tai Fung to see if our number had been called yet. We had just missed it, but she put us back on the list, and we were seated within about 5 minutes. Ollie the robot showed us to our seats. You can find 170 different locations for this restaurant scattered throughout the world. Although it originated in Taipei, this is not the original Taipei location. They're most famous for their Pork Xiao Long Bao, or soup dumplings. You can observe in the open kitchen to see this process at work. It looks more like a medical research facility than a kitchen. Dough is meticulously rolled out, and then the pork filling is added to the circles. Precision is amazing. Next, the dough is carefully twisted to make the perfect Xiao Long Bao. It's interesting to note that the soup comes from the pork itself and is not an additive. Once assembled, they're steamed in bamboo baskets. Everyone knows their job and is hard at work. This location in the basement of Taipei 101 seemed always to be busy. You can download their app to keep track of when your number is called, that way you can do a little shopping. Once seated, the food came out quickly. They provide instructions to get the best out of your Xiao Long Bao. Mix 3 parts vinegar, 1 part soy sauce to the provided ginger. Dip your Xiao Long Bao in the sauce, then put it on the spoon, poke a hole, and eat in one bite. Each was made perfectly. They were a work of art, but delicious as well. Dough was a little sticky, making punching the hole a bit of a challenge, but well worth it. We sampled a few different things. We had the spinach dumplings, which weren't my favorite, and then the shrimp xiao mai, which was delicious. They were also perfectly made and almost too pretty to eat. We also tried the crispy pan-fried shrimp and pork pot stickers. These took a little effort, but the effort was worth it. They were light, crispy, and the filling rivaled that of the Pork Xiao Long Bao. I think Din Tai Fung should be on every Taipei itinerary, just be prepared to wait. You would probably have enough time to put your name in at the restaurant, go up to the observatory, and then come back for lunch or dinner. After eating, we made the short walk across the street back to the Grand Hyatt. We have one more morning here in Taipei before heading to the cruise port, and we plan to go to the observatory tomorrow. It's Monday morning and we have one last half day in Taipei. We started our day at Club Oasis, the 24-hour fitness center. It's about 6:30 in the morning and it looks like we beat the crowds. The fitness center was clean and well equipped. With a 10-night cruise ahead of us, we know we'll be doing plenty of eating and drinking. So this workout seemed necessary. After freshening up from our workout, we headed to the 22nd floor to the club level for breakfast. It was still early and it wasn't very crowded yet. There was plenty of comfortable seating and the lounge was decorated very nicely. The lounge has different offerings throughout the day and is open from 7 in the morning until 10 at night. You can also see beautiful views of Taiwan. The buffet was beautifully presented and offered selections with both Western and Asian flair. We also didn't have any qualms about food safety and food handling, which I can't say the same about the night market. Hot food was plentiful and good tasting. We stayed mostly within our comfort zone, although we did try the turnip cake, which is a Taiwan specialty. And we also tried the local sausage. There was an egg station where you could get eggs however you wanted them, including sunny side up or scrambled. And of course, made to order omelets. The chef made a beautiful, tasty, fluffy omelet. A great way to start the day. And here's our breakfast plate with a variety of items. The omelet and the pork bun were my favorites. I would say upgrading to the Grand Hyatt club level was definitely worth it. Although we only took advantage of the breakfast buffet, it was convenient and the food was really good. I definitely recommend this location of the Grand Hyatt, especially if you're only in Taipei for a short amount of time. We stopped by the lobby on our way across the street to Taipei 101. There was a coffee shop with delectable looking pastries. We had plenty to eat at the buffet, so we weren't hungry, but we did enjoy looking at the beautiful pastries. I'm sure we'll have plenty of sweets on the cruise. The Taipei 101 Observatory opened at 9 o'clock that morning, and we were trying very hard to get there early. Because it opens before the rest of the mall, you have to enter by the MRT entrance in Din Tai Fung. Remember to stay to the right on the escalator so people can pass on the left. The observatory entrance is located on the 5th floor. I recommend not buying tickets in advance just in case the weather doesn't cooperate. And go early so that you have your choice of times and don't have to wait long in line. Price on our visit was 600 new Taiwan dollars, which was about 18 US dollars. And we were in the first group of the morning. And now get ready for the world's second fastest elevator ride. It ascends to the 89th floor in 37 seconds. If you're wondering, the fastest elevator is in the Shanghai Tower. So we didn't waste any time and arrived at the 89th floor Observatory of Taipei 101. They were having a baseball-themed exhibit. The observatory gives you a bird's eye view, and you can appreciate how densely populated the area actually is. There are about 2.5 million people in Taipei and about 4 million in the surrounding metro area. From the tower, we could easily look down at our Grand Hyatt hotel. On our Monday morning visit, it was busy but not crowded. There are very wide open walkways. There were various exhibits highlighting the diversity of Taiwan. There was a stand open selling refreshments. There were maps highlighting the points of interest. Stop by the baseball exhibit and see the world's most expensive baseball. You could get your picture taken by the well-guarded baseball and see other memorabilia. And of course, take in spectacular views of the city below. Get your picture taken with Taipei 101's mascot. Then we walked through the Dream High exhibition, more information about baseball, on our way to see the tuned mass damper. This 660 metric ton ball is suspended between the 87th and 92nd floors of the tower. Its purpose is to keep the building steady, especially during earthquakes and typhoons. There were a couple of movies that showed the sway during these events. On our visit, they were projecting images onto the damper, much like the Sphere in Las Vegas. During high winds, the sway of the damper counteracts the sway of the building. The steel damper can curtail movement of the building by up to 40%. Back in the observatory, it was getting much more crowded. You could stand in line to get your picture taken with the angel wings out over the city. And of course, there's a gift shop. They had a very wide variety of things to choose from, including souvenirs, clothing, purses, and baseball memorabilia, just to name a few. Come take a look with us. After the gift shop, we climbed the stairs to the 91st floor to see the outside sky deck. It was a little chilly and windy, so our visit was brief. Views are a bit obscured by the safety railings. The views from here really weren't any better than from inside. Make sure to obey all of the rules. From the outside, you do get a good view of the top tiers. Apparently, there's a secret garden on the 101st floor. You can access this for an additional $12. Our time was limited, so we didn't do that. We enjoyed our trip to almost the top of Taipei 101 and definitely think it's a must-see for anybody visiting Taipei. Inside the mall, you'll find many upscale luxury brands to choose from. The mall is clean and modern, and in the summer, a great place to escape the heat. You can also come here to dodge the raindrops or warm up on a chilly day. In the basement, you'll find a massive food court. You can find most anything from noodles to dumplings to sweets and drinks. It is a very popular place and does get quite busy, and sometimes it's harder to find a table than something good to eat. And don't worry if you're craving a McDonald's cheeseburger, because there is a McDonald's here. When we travel outside the US, We always think it's fun to go to McDonald's and see what local offerings they have. We usually get a double cheeseburger and fries just to see if there's any taste difference. We thought they closely resembled what you can get in the US. It was probably our favorite McDonald's cheeseburger outside of America. Barcelona still holds the crown for the worst. We also saw a Mr. Donut and hadn't had one of those in years. They all looked very well displayed and delicious, so we went with the mochi donut, one chocolate and one white frosted. Unfortunately, these were a little disappointing. They lacked flavor and the frosting had a plasticky taste. I would definitely pass these up next time. So we left Taipei Tower, went back to the Hyatt, and picked up our luggage. Now it was time to jump in a cab and head to the port. It was about a 25-minute trip, which cost about $25 for the both of us. And as we approached the port, the ship came into view, the Norwegian cruise line Spirit, our home for the next 11 days. Thanks for joining us at Hikanuki World Tour. Today's travel wisdom comes from an unknown source, and the artwork comes from a subway station in Taipei. Dolphins inspire us to ride the waves of life with a smile. Presented here is the full ceremony of the changing of the guard at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted when new videos are dropped.